So we're here with John Celetano from Soundview Heating, and we had a couple of questions for him. First of all, John, great to have you on the show. Biggest question, as a small business owner, what's the hardest part of it?
What's the hardest part, I would say, is trying to, keep up with the amount of service calls that we get on any given day and get to as many customers as we can to get them back up and running.
Now, John, also, this is going to be a bad winter. It's already starting out with freezing temperatures in November, December, so looks like all that Florida weather that we had for years is going to be over. So
Yeah.
you are going to be quite in demand.
Yes.
Now, John, what we did is we brought a couple of pictures with us
Okay.
that we'll go over with you, and you'll tell us where this might be a problem with their oil burner,
Sure.
or maybe it's some sort of normal wear and tear. So, John, we'll start off with this one. Is this normal wear and tear? Is this something that the homeowner should be worried about, or?
This, what I'm looking at here, looks like some corrosion that's happening around the fitting, which means there was a leak of water, heating water coming out of it. What gets left behind is the minerals that are left in the water, so it's kind of a telltale sign that there was or is a actual leak going on there. It's small, but it is something that should be addressed because it will start eventually eating the piping and become a bigger leak.
Now, John, one of the things people say is that a lot of the pipes that when they go into people's house to see the oil burner, a lot of the pipes are not insulated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a case of a non-insulated pipe
Right.
that's around the oil burner. Now, the next picture, as you can see, is what the homeowner did to protect it. Now, this type of foam insulation, is this a good idea to have on all your pipes?
Yeah. Insulating your pipes throughout your house, what it does is it prevents any heat loss as the heating water is traveling from the boiler to its final destination. So anything that you can do to prevent loss of heat means you're going to run your system less over time. So yeah, it's always a good practice to insulate as many pipes as you can, whether it's cold water, hot water, or heating piping.
Now, this is where the chimney goes into basically the outside wall or the, in some cases in the basement. And as you can see, there's cracks around the seal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this something that the homeowner should be looking out for, or something that?
Yeah, again, a homeowner or a service technician, when they come out to do any type of maintenance, you want to have a good seal from this set of piping that is carrying the flue gases into the chimney. So that pipe just slides in here, and then what's built around it is a product called furnace cement, and it will dry and seal that hole, but over time can start to form cracks like you see in the picture here. And it's not a big deal to chip this away. I just put a fresh coat over it and make sure that that seal is good and tight.
Again, here is I believe it's a shutoff valve that's on the oil burner. It is insulated,
Mm-hmm.
but again, we're seeing that type of corrosion. Now, is that corrosion, could that be just from regular moisture, like dew or something like that?
No, this is this is a gate valve.
Okay.
And there's behind this nut right here is a gasket that eventually they do dry out, and same issue as an earlier photo, as the water is escaping, the water, because the pipe is hot, will kind of vapor off, but what's left behind is the minerals, and that's what's showing you that there is a problem here. A lot of these types of valves now aren't being used anymore. They've switched to ball valves. So a lot of times these would just get cut out and a ball valve would be put in place of it.
Now, this is a...
Looks like an inline flow check.
Yeah, these flow check valves.
Mhm.
And again, we see a little bit of that.
Same corrosion,
Right.
minerals being left behind.
Right.
So this is leaking. Again, it's probably a small leak. As soon as the water hits the hot piping, it's dissipating. What's leaving behind is its minerals from the water. A flow check, just basically the purpose of those, when you have a heating system, hot's always going to want to travel to cold. So
Right.
you would have normal migration when the boiler's hot and your baseboards are cold, even if the pump isn't running. So what a flow check does is it basically stops that migration until a pump comes on and can overpower the check valve, opening it and allowing flow.
Now, this is on the oil burner itself,
Mhm.
and as you have what's called the gate, which is right above the boiler that turns the heat on, we're seeing rust and corrosion around there. Now, something for the homeowner to be worried about, or normal wear and tear?
This particular one doesn't look to be anything out of the ordinary. You know, I can see that at some point there was some discoloration here, maybe something was dripping.
Right.
May no longer be dripping, but again, these panels are all made of metal, and so eventually they will rust. This black plate here is basically the firewall from the other side of the burner. So this is constantly hot and, you know, just creating some rust there. It's not something to be overly concerned with for what I see here.
Now, this one's a little bit different.
Mhm.
This has basically what your acrostat is, and an
Yep.
acrostat, if you want to explain to the people at home what that actually is.
Yeah, so this is a triple acrostat, so it's doing a few things simultaneously. It's maintaining the boiler temperature for what it will start at, and then what the boiler will shut off at. Usually anywhere between 160 degrees it will turn back on, and 180 degrees it will turn off the burner. And that's the level of hot water that you're going to get out of the boiler to go and heat your house. In addition to that, some of these will also operate the circulator pump. So the thermostat wire, which you see here, is going into this and saying a thermostat is now giving me a call. So A, turn on the boiler, and B, turn on the circulator pump and start pumping water. It's, in this picture here, this round plate that you see, behind that is the domestic hot water. So some of the older packaged boilers, this is how they made your domestic hot water that you have at your sinks and your showers and things of that nature. Again, you can see, you know, some of that leftover minerals behind here, because again, there's a gasket here. So when you start seeing something like that, the problem with these will happen is that when the boiler is, if at any point turned off or at a lower temperature, you might start to see them leak, and that's because you know, we heat up the water, we expand it, so it kind of seals it, but then when it cools
Expansion
off,
and contraction.
it'll
Right.
contract, and you'll get some of that leakage there. Right.
Now, we're looking into, down the tube into the chimney here. And when you guys come in, this is one of the things you check.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times the soot and everything else will, you know, get clogged up in that unit, and she's not breathing properly. She's not breathing properly, she's not working properly. She's
Right.
using more heat, she's using more oil,
Mhm.
right? Now, this one looks like it's pretty clean.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, so what this picture illustrates here, this is what's called the barometric relief. The flue piping comes off the boiler. We'll have a barometric relief someplace in the section going from the boiler to the chimney breech. This will allow air to be drawn in as the chimney gets hot. It's going to draw in some of the air through here and some of the air through the burner. So if you start seeing a lot of soot building up in this pipe or around this area, something is happening with the burner where we're not getting the proper air mixture. So now we're burning incorrectly,
Right.
and we're basically leaving a lot of sooty, unburnt fuel around that pipe. Yeah, it's hard to say exactly. It does sound like maybe the blower motor itself is what's that humming noise, where it's not actually spinning, even though it has power to it. I don't think that what I'm hearing in that particular video would be the igniter, where you're getting the spark across that. So my guess is that there's something wrong with the blower motor. The blower motor would be on the side, because this side here has the fuel pump.
Right.
So basically that motor is a single shaft that's running through, there's a coupling in between, and it's turning the fan
Right.
that's adding that combustion air to the chamber, and then it's also spinning this pump.
Right.
These motors do have, some of the ones have a little capacitor on them if they're the older ones. If they're some of the newer ones, they're just, you have to replace it.
And that's the warning sign. When you turn your burner on and it's not turning on and you see that red light, what does that tell you?
So that red light on there, and there could be different types of controls. This particular one is a Riello,
Right.
where it's external like this, because this cover that you see on here is like a sound cover that they put on them.
Right.
In the previous picture, the reset button might be on the primary control,
Right.
that you would look down on. That is indicating that for whatever reason that burner didn't light. And within 15 seconds, if it hasn't lit, it's going to trip.
Right.
It's going to tell the customer something happened here.
So do these things this winter, avoid all this stuff, get all these things done for your oil burner and your heat.
Yep.
It's gonna be a cold winter, you wanna stay warm, you got the
Yep.
holidays coming up, you don't want your relatives freezing and giving them something else to complain about.
Right.
Like
You don't want to wake up Christmas morning cold.
Exactly.
Hi, this is John from Soundview Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm one of the owners here, and we're here for you if you have a heating or air conditioning need. So please give us a call at 631-209-1744, and we'll gladly help you out.